I was 25 when the world I thought I knew slipped out from under me. I had built my life carefully, like one of the pitches we made at the advertising firm, structured, polished, and meant to impress. My days were full of meetings, campaigns, and client calls. But at night I came home to the man I thought I would marry. His name was Ryan, and for 2 years I believed he was my anchor in a city that never stopped moving. When I met him, he seemed perfect. Dark hair, disarming smile, the kind of confidence that pulled people into his orbit. He worked in finance, the type who was always on the move, phone buzzing with clients and meetings. I loved how different we were. Me, the creative with a head full of stories and campaigns, and him, the numbers-driven analyst. Somehow, it felt like balance. He told me I was his escape, his calm in the storm. I clung to that. The first crack came quietly. He was late coming home, later than usual, and when I asked, he brushed it off. Work ran long, you know how it is. I wanted to believe him. I told myself I was being paranoid. But paranoia has a way of planting seeds that grow in silence. At work, I was leading a campaign for a big client, an energy drink brand pushing hard for a rebrand. Long nights at the office blurred into weekends of revisions. My boss, Claire, pushed me hard, but also trusted me with freedom, and I thrived in that pressure. I was exhausted, but it felt worth it. The campaign was going to define my career. But in the quiet moments when my phone stayed still and Ryan's messages were vague, something inside me itched. The betrayal didn't come as a dramatic reveal, it came as a slow bleed. First, I noticed the perfume on his shirt, one I didn't wear. Then, he canceled on dinner with my parents at the last minute, saying he had a client emergency. I smiled, nodded, but inside, I folded in on myself. One night, after a brutal day at work, I came home to find him in the shower. His phone was on the counter, buzzing. My chest tightened. I shouldn't look. I knew I shouldn't. But my hand moved before my conscience could catch up. Her name was Alyssa. The messages were plain, almost boring, but that's what made them so damning. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Last night was amazing. Wish you were here instead of her. Instead of her. The words gutted me. My name reduced to her. I dropped the phone as if it had burned me. When he came out of the bathroom, towel around his waist, humming to himself, I couldn't breathe. I wanted to scream, to confront him right there. But instead, I smiled weakly and excused myself, locking the bedroom door under the pretense of changing. That night, I lay awake, listening to his even breaths beside me. My mind replayed every moment of our relationship, searching for signs, for evidence I had ignored. The way he smiled at his phone during dinner. The weekends he claimed he was catching up on work. I felt like a fool. The next day at the firm, I pitched to the client with a smile plastered on my face. Our campaign isn't about the drink. It's about energy, resilience, and pushing past limits, I said, my voice steady while my insides screamed. They nodded, impressed. My team clapped. I excused myself to the bathroom afterward and retched into the sink. I couldn't tell anyone, not Claire, not my friends, not even my sister who lived 2 states away and always seemed to have the perfect advice. I buried it. I thought if I kept it hidden, maybe it would fade, maybe I'd wake up and it would all make sense again. But secrets rot. I started noticing Alyssa in the little things. A receipt in his pocket for a restaurant we had never been to. A stray earring under the car seat. He grew colder, distracted. When I touched his arm, he flinched as if my hand carried fire. Finally, I broke. I confronted him one evening, my voice trembling. Who is she? For a moment, He stared at me as if he didn't understand. Then his expression hardened. You went through my phone. That's all you have to say? My voice cracked. He sighed, running a hand through his hair. I didn't mean for it to happen. It's complicated. Complicated? My chest burned. You lied to me. You let me believe. I still care about you, he interrupted. But Alyssa, she makes me feel alive. I can't explain it. Alive, as if I had been nothing more than a placeholder, a quiet harbor until he found his storm. I wanted to scream, to throw things, to demand he leave. Instead, I sat on the couch, staring at the floor as he packed a bag. He kissed my forehead before walking out, as though that gesture could erase the knife he had twisted into me. The silence that followed was worse than his absence. Our apartment became a tomb, filled with ghosts of laughter and whispers that no longer belonged to me. I still had to wake up every day, go to the firm, pitch campaigns, smile at clients. I became two people, the strong, confident creative at work and the hollow, broken woman at home. Nights were the worst. I'd scroll through our old photos, torturing myself with memories of his arm around me, his smile pressed against my cheek. I hated him. I missed him. I hated myself for missing him. One night, after too much wine, I found myself typing her name into social media. Alyssa. She was beautiful. Blonde, polished, the kind of woman who fit seamlessly into the glossy parties he loved. Her captions oozed confidence, full of brunches, rooftop photos, friends who look like models. I hated her instantly, but I also hated how small she made me feel. Weeks turned into months. People at work complimented me on the campaign, said I seemed more driven than ever. They didn't see the cracks, the late nights crying in the bathroom, the mornings where I barely managed to paint my face with makeup before dragging myself out the door. Ryan never came back, not with apologies, not with explanations. He disappeared into a new life with her, leaving me to pick up pieces that didn't fit anymore. Sometimes in the quiet of night, I replay that moment, the kiss on the forehead, the bag over his shoulder. It loops in my mind, unresolved, unfinished. And that's the thing about betrayal. It doesn't end clean. It lingers, staining every memory, every new connection, every laugh that feels just a little too fragile. I still wake up some mornings expecting him to roll over, to kiss my cheek, to call me his calm. Then I remember. I wasn't his calm. I was just a pause, a placeholder, the her he left behind. And the worst part is, I don't know if I'll ever be whole again,